Okay, hello and welcome again. My name is Beau Flasher. That's my real name. Flasher. I think it was Fleischer. I rooted that one back. Some old family records. It's like Russian meat worker. Whatever. A name's a name. What's in a name? Well, if it's Flasher, it's Russian meat worker. Okay, so this is an important video. I'm starting to enjoy these. This is an important video. The mind. We left off with the mind. So this is video number 3 of the series. And it's important to note that the mind controls thought, okay, within the head. And this applies to anyone who's watching this. It controls your focus. It controls your reality. And while it's doing that, it's creating a reality to protect your primary fears. So you ever wonder why your reality looks the way it does? The same people, the patterns, the choices. That's your mind. That's the filter. That's the lens that you create over time, right? You create it at an initial moment of trauma, and then you begin to create a reality that is not going to go up against your primary fears, because we don't want to feel that. We don't want to feel when we're exposed. So we create a reality that is like we sort of like a waterway. We bridge it away from areas that can affect us. And we do that with our choices. And our choices can be observed by asking why and understanding. So the mind does this with, I just noted here that the mind uses control thought forms. The mind is all about control. Its intent is to control your focus. Why? Because when focus is controlled within your head, okay, you are less likely to go rooting around to find something that you don't want to feel. Control. It uses thought forms of control, which are projected to within your head, and it uses thought forms like conceptual thought forms. You can use the mind as a tool. Say if you wanted to create a bicycle in your head, or if you wanted to imagine an orange, that's conceptual. You can use the mind's eye and the mind as a tool to project, say you're wanting to see an order of a sequence, you can create that sequence yourself. So we all know that the mind can be used as a tool. And I'm going to make a statement that not many people are going to believe, but it's important that I say this, that I am able to subdue thought within the head, or create an absence of thought. I know a lot of people have been wanting to do that, and there's a technique to do that. Now, okay, that's pretty wild. I'm not saying that it's a wild statement. I'm able to subdue thought within the head, and I was able to do this by observing thought forms used to control me. And I reached a moment of consciousness. Consciousness exists outside the regions of the mind's control within the head, and that's the next stage of our. It's difficult for me to say this because who's going to believe that? You would think consciousness would be someone, wearing a one-piece garb and saying, "My son, and you must understand yourself, and it is like a drop of water, and one must." No. It comes from seeing yourself. Seeing your deepest fears. That's consciousness. You are able to then pass focus out of the eyes from within the head. I wish I could draw a line. Oh, here we go. You are able to then pass focus out of the head and out of your eyes, and then you can subdue thought within the head. Then you don't have thought. You can place it within your heart. You can place it around your body, and you're able to then get out of the mind. We're always wanting, what is this voice? How do I slow it down? We speed it up ourselves. We can increase the frequency of our own mind when we're really feeling, right? There's a lot of techniques. We jab at others by controlling with our eyes. So that was a surprise to me, but it's important that I say that, and that consciousness is literally the next stage of our evolution. It's if we're on third density, right? We're on like a bubble. We're in 3D. 4D or fourth density exists in a space outside of the reaches of the mind. Thought can exist in areas outside of your head. Okay, thought doesn't just exist within your head. When you're talking with someone and you hear one of their thoughts, that's thought being transferred from them to you, which proves that thought can then exist without outside the regions of the head. We assume that it's our thoughts and this is who we are. That's not true. Start asking why, about why you feel the way you do, why you think the way you do, what thought forms you have. So it's important to note that observing thought forms that control your focus will reduce the ability of the mind to control. It's almost like if you try and do that now within your own mind, it's like a freeway, right? Just cars going back and forth. But as you begin to see, oh, that was a red one. Okay, I don't want that one to hold my focus. And okay, well, there's a truck. Okay, and there's that thought form. There's that thought form. Okay, what is this? And then it begins to slow down. And then you can begin to see the way in which the mind controls every little moment of your reality. Grab that, move that over there. What about that person? Don't forget to do this first. I got to just get control. Okay. You begin to see all that. You slow it down. And then there's like a moment where you see yourself. It's amazing. You see yourself, and it's sort of like a tornado slows down, and you can see thought forms you haven't seen your entire life, because they've been stored at the back of the mind, at the back regions where you're not supposed to be messing around. Well, I messed around. That sounds bad. I didn't have it. I ripped my wrist open, and I was rooting around. I wanted to know why I was who I was. I was starting over, and in that moment, I was able to see the way the mind worked. And it's a lot about the mind, but it's an important way to start this video series. Also, it's important to note that the mind is a system of control. It's a program, just like a video program. It has a code, and codes can be broken. That's important, okay? The mind has a code. Codes can be broken. You can break your own code. When you do that, you can then pass focus out of the eyes from within the head. Okay, you can pass focus out, and you can subdue thought, and you don't have to be just controlled and steamrolled by your own thoughts, which are very tough. Sometimes we get in very low places, and it's very difficult. In those moments, you can choose to not be in your mind and push focus out of your head and not hear the control. It's actually very nice. And I'm here to say that this is possible. It's a bold statement. Took a lot for me to do these videos, but I am able to do that, and I can show others, and that's why I'm doing this video series. And I'm going to just keep going as we go along with the videos. And to note within this video here, the mind is simply a code, simply a system of control. And if you decode the pattern, you do not have to listen to it. Okay, it has an agenda. It's control. If you don't want the reality that your mind wants to create for you, that you created, right? Then push focus out of your mind and don't create that reality anymore. My reality now looks a lot different than it did for 30-something years, because my projector lens, I'm out of there now. I'm pushing focus in other areas. So now my reality looks different. I'm not creating a reality with conscious thought forms that have the intent to guard my fears. I'm now creating a reality without the mind. So it's very, very wild. I'm sure I'll get leave your comments below. I'm sure I'll get plenty of feedback on that one. So we'll be getting into the other areas that I'm going to take you along my journey, and this could be a long video series, but for those of you that would like to understand yourselves, I feel like I'm selling this, understand yourself and push out of the mind. You don't need the mind. It's just a program. I'm here to say you can do it. It's great. When it's too much, I abandon it. I leave it. It's just like it's noise. And you can't turn it off. There's no off switch. You just leave the head. That's where it controls you. It projects thought forms into your head, and you just leave it. But to do that, you have to follow. You have to begin to see yourself and understand yourself. And there's a way to do that. Go to awayunseen.com, beauflasher.com, and download the A Way Unseen book, and it will show you why, and we'll show you how to do that, how to begin to understand yourself. Okay. Wow, that goes by quick. 10 minutes in. I think I'm enjoying this. All right, this is the third video, and this video was about consciousness in the mind and how thought does exist outside of regions within the head, and we can choose that, and we can create realities undefined and uncontrolled by the mind.